Against Peter Ingram playing Demir Inverter. 12-1 versus an 11-2. Ingram in first place right now. Even if he loses this matchup, still a lock for top 8. So this one should be pretty good as we get to see Shaun Werning do his thing. I hope for our Golgari aggro player that he is on the play because that's going to make things even easier. There is an Overgrown Tomb to start, and you got to believe there's a 1-mana accelerant here. Bang. Elvish Mystic. Excuse me. Lana Wells from Dominaria. My bad. Peter going to play a Drowned Catacomb, simply pass the turn back over to Werning. Werning will draw a card. Now he's drawing an Elvish Mystic. Does he have a 3-mana creature to play ahead of schedule? Yep, Steel Leaf Champion. It's about as straightforward as can be, folks. And there's a Swamp. That's a Thought Eraser. That's going to take Collected Company almost assuredly. There's the hand. Collected Company, 2 Elvish Mystics, and a Forest, so you got to make that go away. That's not even a decision there for Peter. And now Peter will get the opportunity to surveil.
Really would like something to, you see Fatal Push in hand. I think a key card here for Ingram, anything that can enable Revolt. I think Fatal Passage would probably be about the best card you could find right here.
Peter going to take a long look at it. Going to leave it on top, pass the turn back. Werner's got a lot of good draw steps here. Collected Company probably the best of the bunch. Forest certainly not. So here's an attack for 6. Ingram's down to 14. A couple of bozos are going to come out here, and Elvish Mystics, plural. We're going to head back over to Ingram. Ingram going to draw a card. Choked Estuary, one of your favorites. The draw.
Looking to enter the battlefield tapped.
It's specialty. There's Thought Erasure. Show you a land.
Is not it.
No, not quite. Again, Shaun's been cleaning up on Demir Inverter decks all weekend. You have to imagine that his matchups are pretty good against mono black aggro. Wouldn't be surprised if he's good against mono red aggro. Wouldn't be surprised if he's good against these spirit decks, which, while they do have flying, they have a tough time against big bozos like this.
From the red side, I found matchups like this to be, if you have any chance, it's because they're leaning very heavily on mana creatures that you can kill. But if they start casting their stuff, very, very hard to win.
There's a Forest. This is a...
Ooh.
Okay. Rishka.
Well, I think this puts it at a point where now a removal spell will not be good enough.
Yeah, because this is a deck that doesn't play sweepers. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ingram's at 4.
One removal spell is just not enough.
Yeah.
Even 2 removal spells is not enough.
Yep, I totally agree.
Well, that sure was something.
We don't play. We don't play around here if we're Shaun Werning.
Okay.
Bulldoze you. Turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion. Bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. I mean, it makes sense, right? The recipe here makes sense about I'm playing a big creature ahead of schedule. Your removal is Fatal Push, and
Right.
you don't have a lot of meaningful ways to enable it.
Exactly. And if they're using it on your elves, that's okay. Your big stuff will eventually get out there. And if you're just putting them under pressure, it's not like Ingram has no shot against that draw. He does have draws that align in such a way that would allow him to play Magic to keep his head above water, but they're very specific. And that kind of draw and this kind of matchup also, if you're looking to beat Dig Through Time, that's a pretty good way to do it, is just be so fast and give your opponent so few opportunities to cast their spells that the game's over before they have a shot. And Ingram had at least 1 copy of Dig Through Time in his hand, nowhere near the cards in the graveyard, nor nowhere near the amount of time necessary to be able to do it.
Now, I will walk it back just a little bit because there are a couple copies of the Great Henge in the main deck. There are 2 here for Shaun. But we'll go over his main deck here in just a moment because we want to get to the sideboards here very quickly. Start with Peter, who's got 3 Jace Vryn's Prodigy, 2 Heroes Downfall, 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Legion's End, 6 1-ofs in Thassa's Oracle, Mystical Dispute, Narset Parter of Veils, Cast Down, Galetus Trader of Get, and this one's actually quite good, Doomblade.
So Doomblade and Cast Down are going to be very, very strong here, as are the copies of Heroes Downfall. Problem here is, for the creature matchups, typically in Pioneer, they are very low to the ground. Legion's Ends act as more removal. That's not the case here. Everything that Werning has that's really valuable is a bit more expensive. So maybe those come in for the mana accelerators, but it is narrow. I'm also interested, I think, in the extra copy of Thassa's Oracle because I kind of want to be focused on just being as fast as possible. I think playing the control game, even with a little bit of extra removal, is going to be hard for Ingram to do. I think if I was in his position, I would want to play a little bit of removal, buy myself a little bit of time, but ultimately try to get to the combo as fast as possible. So Thassa's Oracle would be part of that recipe as well.
4 Leyline of the Void, 2 Golgari Charm, 2 Fatal Push, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Windstorm. Take that, Spirits. A Reclamation Sage, a Stain in the Mine, and an Aethersphere Harvester here for Shaun.
So the Leyline of the Voids here I'm interested in. I mean, I suppose Thoughtseize, if you're going to have it in your sideboard, this is probably one of the better matchups for it. Stain the Mine as well.
Those are the options here for both players. Game number 2 going to be underway here in just a moment as Ingram will be on the play. We want to talk about Star City Games Open Trials, though, while we wait. We got plenty of prizes at this brand new promotion that we relaunched this year, including SCG Tour free entry cards, SCG Tour playmats, exclusive foil tokens, and official Magic the Gathering playmats. Go.starcitygames.com/open trials is the place to go there. And we've also got invitational qualifiers as well. These ones I'm sure you find folks are used to. $1,000 to the top 8, invitational qualifications, SCG points, top 8 playmats, and exclusive tokens, all on the line there. You can learn more about this particular program at go.starcitygames.com/IQ. As our players are ready, and they will be given the green light. Choked Estuary revealing an island is where Ingram will start. It's a Blooming Marsh and a Land of War Elves here for Shaun Werning. There is Jace Fringe Prodigy, a card that Shaun probably has some difficulty killing in the sideboarded game. So we head back over to Shaun. See what kind of creature he's got to play on turn 2. I have to imagine there's one there. That is a Land of War Waste. This is a Rotting Regisaur.
I like the terms of engagement being laid out very early on here. I'm going to fiddle around with some cantrips and hopefully bridge together some card advantage and removal. And you are going to discard your hand in an effort to kill me as fast as possible.
Trigger here on Rotting Regisaur. The discard is Lovestruck Beast. That must mean his hand's good.
He's big O flooded.
Yeah. Galta, huh? Okay.
And Ingram's hand, Dig Through Time, Fatal Push, Inverter, and 2 Jaces.
That cannot be his hand.
That is
serious?
not it.
Well.
Fatal Push.
Bonk!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you better get that time shifted match queued up. We're going to be going there pretty soon. Ingram down to 13.
Might see Vince Prodigy on some old chump blocking detail soon.
If my opponent goes out discard Lovestruck Beast, I lose. I concede.
Oh my!
I concede.
Yo, chill. Give me a little time here, you know.
We're just out here, just giving beatdowns.
Oh, turn 4 Inverter Truce, huh? Okay, that's the 3rd largest creature on the battlefield.
Well, what's actually kind of funny about this is, like, if you play Inverter, then you have 1 card left in your deck, and it's Jace, so you win. Yeah. But, you know, we're not there yet, so discard Overgrown Tomb to Rotting Regisaur. What's this? Let's get a little look. Take a little look, see what's going on over there.
I sense a soft holding, but I want to know for sure.
Just going to scope it out real quick.
Yeah.
Is this a Fatal Push? It cannot be Fatal Push on Land of War Elves. That is not going to do it.
Well, it's not going to be on Rotting Regisaur and certainly not going to be on Galta. Yeah. So
all right. Land of War Elves, see ya. Float of green, love it. Take a little look here at Pete's hand. Inverter of Truths, Jaces, plural.
Impossible to be worse.
Yep, and Dig Through Time. That hand stinks. And it smells bad, too.
You keep them.
Yeah, you keep all.
I don't even know if it's worth, but yeah, I guess you take the. I was gonna say I don't even. It might be even bad.
You take Inverter or Dig, right?
Yeah, definitely not Jace.
Yeah. Inverter's gone. I think you're taking Inverter because you just don't want to get cheesed out of the game somehow.
Right. There's just how is Ingram gonna have enough time to both dig and then do something to follow up?
Let's see what this is. What is this? Oh, Steel Leaf Champion, sure.
Just one more banger.
All right, so we're going to block Reggie. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Doomblade off the TZ.
That's a big one.
Must be nice. Bonk.
Okay.
We play on.
We play on. Jace does not get to transform, though, unfortunately for Ingram.
That's true.
Just a
Because
chump
then
blocker.
that could flash back a Doomblade.
Whoa, that'd be
And
huge.
yeah, that'd be huge.
Swing. Instead,
all right, look, he's got 6 cards in the graveyard, so he's got Dig Through Time on the cheap. It's going to have to be a good one. Peter's still at 13, though.
yeah, but he doesn't have a whole lot of margin for error.
No argument here, partner.
His head is above water for a little bit longer here. He needs to dig into perfects, but he's at 13, so if he's able to dig into a removal spell he can cast, specifically Hero's Downfall, you take another hit, but, there's a shot.
You play on.
Play on.
So were you supposed to take Dig Through Time or Inverter? Because taking Inverter now looks bad.
My instinct was to take Dig because his hand was so bad that the first thing that came to mind was just don't put a card in the graveyard because it gets him closer to Dig. And if that's my response, then it probably means Dig is the card to take.
Sure. Ingram found a copy of Hero's Downfall. He's also got a Fatal Push that he may select here from his Dig Through Time. He's just looking for removal, keep his head above water, as these big bozos are trying to give some beatdowns. Rotting Regisaur gets killed by Hero's Downfall. We head back over to Shaun. Steel Leaf Champion. In for 5. Ingram down to 8. This is Jace. Elevator going up. Ingram's going to mill himself for 2. And draw a card.
Another downfall.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Shaun's deck isn't one that really has, anything like burn or reach or, heck, even haste. So the Steel Leaf Champion gets to get busy somewhere. Shaun does have a copy of Ronus in hand. That's a hard-to-kill threat, but not the scariest thing right now. All right, Jay, see you later. Well, that buys Peter even another turn. Now, there is Ronus, the Indomitable. Peter going to take a look at that card. We can do the same.
Very good news for Ingram here because he has a removal spell to follow up with. And now Werning stranded with a card that cannot attack.
Ronus the Indomitable, a very powerful card from Amonkhet block. You see Ingram's taking a look. Wants to make sure he knows exactly what this indestructible god does do. Does have Death Touch as well. 5/5. Can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater, which is not hard for this deck to do. And then, of course, another target creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn when you pay 2 and a G. Ingram is not going to play Inverter. Now we know what his deck looks like. Jace, Downfall, Push. Not many cards left here for Peter.
Yeah, but I think Ingram feeling pretty confident that he can win this game inside of 3 turns just via combat. And he does have Jace as a way to maybe set up a combo kill.
Ingram with, I believe, an Opt and a Hero's Downfall in hand. And all Shaun can do is pass the turn back. So Peter's going to play an Opt. This is just going to be 1 card further into that small deck. Top card becomes the bottom. Now he'll draw. He'll untap, folks. And he'll draw a card. Hero's Downfall in the grip. Looks like 4 cards left here for Ingram. Jace is the place. Elevator. Going to be going up here in just a moment, I'm sure. It's just who's he going to mill? And that's something he's not that sure of just yet.
I think I would want to mill Werning because there's still some risk of him just drawing a removal spell for your Inverter.
Yeah, but then how's the Ronus attacking? right? And I think that's why.
Sure.
So the fear I would have is a removal spell for the Jace. So like a Hero's Downfall type spell, and then can you still win? But I don't think that Shaun has the ability to turn on Ronus and kill Inverter to allow Ronus to attack.
Sure.
Two mana. Scavenging Ooze. A card that Shaun has said has been very good for him this weekend, especially against the Lotus Breach decks, which makes a lot of sense. I have to imagine they have a really tough time beating that card. Ingram will draw. He'll use Jace, and he will win this game. So, Shaun Werning and Peter Ingram. They're going to give us a third one here, as this one has been pretty darn fun so far. Golgari Aggro, Dimir Inverter, they're all tied up.
And you see Werning there with a little smile acknowledgement of, I thought that one was not going to be close, but Ingram's sideboard really came to bear in that game number 2. A lot of Heroes Downfalls. That Doomblade off the top was clutch and was able to just keep his head above water long enough against those big chunky threats, start getting his card advantage going, and wrap the game up pretty quickly with Inverter of Truths.
Well, these players are going to shuffle up here for game number 3 in what has been a very exciting set. Now, of course, we've got some great sponsors here on the SCG Tour, but the one that's been with us the longest is our friends over at Ultimate Guard, who do have a very cool line of products coming out here in 2020. They're awesome and unique exclusive line of products we're going to show you right now. Peter Ingram, Shaun Werning, getting ready here for game number 3. Shout out to our friends over at Ultimate Guard. I'm hoping that 2020 exclusive line of products does fantastic for them. We hope you guys enjoy it. You can, of course, pick it up at StartCityGames.com. Ingram, a lock for top 8 right now. Shaun Werning isn't, so that's why we're seeing this match play out. For Peter, he's been dominating since the word go here this weekend. 9-0 on day 1. In first place all weekend long. Defeated Ben Weinberg to go to 10-0. Picked up a loss along the way to Azorius Control, but that's the only blemish for him here. The 29-year-old from New York. You see all the opens played last year, but all time he's got 10 open top 8s and 3 wins. I know we don't think of him that often as someone who's in that 3 winners club, but if he wins this weekend, that would be 4 wins, and that's quite a few open wins, my friend.
Yeah, there are not a whole lot of players who can say that.
Yeah.
Getting back to the match a little bit, I'm suspicious of Ronus being in the deck post board.
Okay.
If Ingram's going to win these games, it's going to look like that. It's going to involve terminating every single thing that Werning plays.
Sure.
And stranding him. And I really don't want any threat in the deck that isn't capable of attacking on its own. Everything needs to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, Ronus is this really interesting and unique card because how good is that card really? It is a threat that you can't kill because it's indestructible, so there's some merit in wanting to have it on the battlefield, but at the same time, if they're killing everything else, then Ronus is doing nothing.
Right. I mean, it's just a function of, if you lose the games, what do they look like? Mm-hmm. And I think the games that Werning loses looks a lot like what we saw in game number 2, which is just Ingram strings together enough terminates, and you have nothing left over. And I would just be worried about, the mana creatures and then just stuff that works on its own. That's really the only thing that I want. I'm not even sure how interested I am in Thoughtseize, to be honest with you.
Well, the top card's going to become the bottom one now. So we are underway here in game number 3. Llanowar Waste is going to allow Werning to play a Llanowar Elves. So back over to Ingram. We're going to go. Ingram did keep his 7. There's Choked Estuary, revealing a Swamp. And now there's a Fatal Push. Let's slow down the acceleration. We're going back over to Shaun. Shaun has the second copy of Llanowar Waste. And does he have another mana accelerant? Looks like he's going to take at least 1 point of damage. And he will cast Llanowar Elves and an Elvish Mystic. So he'll fall down to 17, in fact, as we head back over to Peter. Peter with the Swamp. He'll simply pass the turn back. So now, Shaun, it's time to play a big bozo. That's what he's been doing all weekend long. Now, it looks like he does have a copy of Galta in hand. I hope it's not two of those. Looks like he's going to take a point of damage. He might be going towards Rotting Regisaur, and if that's the case, that means he's going to have to discard the Galta. So now here comes an attack here for... It's actually a Love Struck Beast, so pardon me. That actually ends up being a pretty good turn.
It's a great-looking turn. Empty-handed, a lot going on. Drawing very heavy. I mean, a lot of big draws off the top available, too.
Here's an attack from one. It was Heart's Desire, sending Love Struck Beast on an adventure, and Cast Down's going to take care of the Regisaur. So that is taken care of. No big creatures on the battlefield right now for Werning. But as you mentioned, Patrick, he is drawing very heavy. Collected Company probably his best draw.
Yeah.
An island there for Ingram. We'll head back over to Werning. Looks like it may have been an Overgrown Tomb off the top there for Shaun. He'll attack with these 3 little 1/1s. Ingram's going to fall down to 16. There's that Overgrown Tomb. Here comes a Love Struck Beast. And Hero's Downfall is going to take care of that. So Ingram is doing exactly what she felt he would do, which is point and click those removal spells onto those big creatures.
Yep. And leftovers here appear, I think, are a Dig, Thoughtseize, and Lands. So not great leftovers here from Ingram. He can't cast a Dig Through Time this turn. He's looking at it next turn. He's got a Thoughtseize that's probably not going to be very good this game. And then that Dig Through Time is going to yield a lot.
Well, if you're Shaun, you're hoping to draw a copy of Collected Company. He's going to start by attacking here for 3. Makes you wonder what the draw step was. It's just another 1/1 accelerant there in Llanowar Elves. So Ingram is keeping his head above water nicely as he will sacrifice the Fabled Passage and get himself a basic island. 5 cards in the graveyard, which means he's 1 mana short or 1 delve card away from playing Dig Through Time on that end step, but he can certainly play it now. An island there for Ingram is his land for the turn. And now he'll go towards Jace Vryn's Prodigy. That 0/2 does a nice job of blocking at least one of these creatures on the battlefield. As now we're going to head back Shaun Werning's way. Looked like it may have been a copy of Collected Company, folks. He'll attack. There's an easy block. 3 damage is going to come through. And now this is going to be a Dig Through Time. So that's going to resolve here for Peter Ingram.
Yeah, I was interested to see there if Ingram was going to try to use Jace to flashback a removal spell and wait on the dig maybe for a turn or 2. But I think because the Thoughtseize in his hand is so bad, a loot with Jace is high value enough that's worth just digging right now and then worrying about the Jace somewhere down the line.
Well, I don't have the best of looks at that card in Shaun's hand once again, but I do think it is a Collected Company. And he doesn't have to worry about counter magic so much in these sideboarded games. So now we head back over to Ingram, just to Dig Through Time in the graveyard. Though he did, of course, get to select 2 cards. Patrick did mention that Thoughtseize, that's in Ingram's hand, and that's a natural card to want to discard to Jace right now. Ingram's going to play a Watery Grave. That's going to enter the battlefield tapped. Ingram's counting for Galta.
Galta counts.
Mm-hmm. Galta right now will cost 8 mana, and Shaun is short 1.
So I think there's the question of, could the last card in hand be a Galta?
Mm-hmm.
What do I value this Thoughtseize at?
Well, this is going to be a fatal push on just one of these smaller creatures. Okay. Interesting here. Is it Company? It is Collected Company. Now, I'm not sure Ingram really played around that. Not to say that he really could.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what playing around it looks like
Yeah.
here. We're just going to have to hope that there are some bigos, some heavy hitters.
Well, there are a lot of bigos, as you like to say, in this deck.
Some tonnage.
Yeah. Heck of a draw step there from Werning. And now will Ingram respond? He has no way to respond. So, top handful of cards. Biggest Collected Company of the tournament here for Shaun. How'd he do? Scavenging Ooze and Steel Leaf Champion.
Not bad.
Means not bad. And that Fatal Push that killed one of those elves.
Now,
Maybe you wish you had it there for the Scavenging Ooze. Now we head back over to Shaun. Shaun will draw another Collected Company.
Like giving it a little flick there. Yes, you old friend.
Well, step 1 is this. Red Zone. Let's go. Ingram does have the Jace Vryn's Prodigy to do some blocking here. Though it will not be blocking Steel Leaf Champion, that's for sure.
I kind of wish the elves were held back on defense here, because the ooze threatens lethal. It's a point of damage the same way. You're either attacking with an elf or you're doing something with a scavenging ooze.
Okay.
And I kind of want the option to suppress Ingram's graveyard, because I am worried about the possibility of him being able to get this Jace Vryn's Prodigy transformed, playing a removal spell out of the graveyard. There's dig through time considerations. There's just sort of ambient reasons to want to suppress Ingram's graveyard as much as possible. It's also not bad to grow the old news. But if Ingram's going to block here, it's actually this attack. This really pays off Werning for that attack.
Well, he's going to let it rip right now with the Collected Company. And I think part of the reason for this is because he can find a card like Rickshaw,
right,
to be able to put some counters on some creatures. And he actually just found, I think, two of them. So that is a heck of a find. Lovestruck Beast.
My. This is too much weight.
It's just a lot of big creatures.
The table is starting to sink.
Rishkar going to distribute some counters. Now, where do you want to put them is the question. Do you want to put it on Steel Leaf Champion? Do you want to put it on these smaller creatures? It looks like we'll put one on Land of War Elves, one on the Steel Leaf Champion. Ingram's going to activate that Jace. And that is going to do it. Shaun Werning's going to take care of Peter Ingram 2-1. Golgari Aggro going to take care of Dimir Inverter. And for someone who has felt his Inverter matchup is very good, he has just demonstrated that again. Shaun Werning is going to move on to 12-2 and lock up a top 8 berth. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the matchup being good, and one of the best